God, I hope that didn't
Wow, no, it didn't. You're lucky. So Kendall was all up in the camera with her tissue, blowing her nose right before, and was like, "Oh my God, I hope I didn't actually get that on camera." Unfortunately, we missed this. But
I can do it again.
So we are both a little under the weather.
I am sick as sick can be.
We are both a little under the weather, so there will be coughing and sneezing and drinking of hot tea.
Well, that's a good tea.
Yeah. While we talk.
Which we're talking about sex on Free Spirit Talk.
And this is super sexy. Hot.
I was like, yeah, we're both feeling super sexy.
We're both feeling super sexy.
Super sexy, so that's why we're going to talk about sex. Let's talk about sex, babe. All right. No, I can still be.
We did a live stream called that. Let's talk about sex, baby. I did that. It was like two or 3 years ago. It was one of my first live streams where I look at myself now and I laugh. Because I was like, hello, this is Addison Bell. Like, I was super, like, overly professional, like, stick up my ass. But, like, still not comfortable in front of the camera. So, anyway.
Yeah.
But today we are talking about sex, and we're talking about how our best sex
is single.
So does that mean that we get the best sex when we're just masturbating?
No. And it doesn't mean that I'm breaking up with anybody if somebody watches this. Your man's gonna be like, what?
The best sex.
It's not what I mean. Just need to get that out there. I'm not breaking up. No breakups. This is not a breakup one.
This is not a breakup. We purposely are not making
no breakup stuff.
No breakup stuff.
No, it does not mean that the best sex is when you're masturbating. Actually, masturbation can be some of the worst sex because
it can be because you're
operating in the masculine and the feminine. Yes. So that is just
can't
hard
play
to do.
both roles. You cannot play both roles, people.
No.
Let's get this across. And because I get women all the time that'll come to me and be like, I have much better sex with my vibrator than I do with my man.
Your partner is not doing their job right. They're not being present. They're not being connective. They're not doing some of the things that need to be done. That's right. I was just like going down and creating some passion, some play, some turn on.
Play,
some really a little bit of time and a little bit of
warm up.
But
then we're like the Energizer bunnies.
Yeah.
But sometimes actually, I think I agree with you, and then I disagree because I think sometimes men can be doing all the right things. They can be working their butts off,
and if the woman is in her head,
then nothing is gonna happen. She is shut down. She's checking the clock. She's like, when is this gonna be over? Because I have dishes to do, and I never get an orgasm. I never have good sex. So what's the point of this? And so sometimes it isn't the man's problem. It isn't his fault. No one can give us an orgasm you can have a physiological response of climax. That can happen. That happens in rapes all the time. To take things really in a negative place. To keep it bright and light today. No, it happens all the time. But at the same time, nobody can give us an orgasm. Nobody can make us orgasm.
No, we have to own our orgasm. That's really ultimately what we're talking about here is owning your orgasm. And what does that mean? And, the best sex does happen from being single, but it is the single sex of tapping into self, of going into yourself and really allowing yourself to be conscious in your own being, which means embodiment. I swear, I have used this word embodiment so much in the last 2 months. It's just, I'm like, embodiment.
Sometimes you sound like
I do. I feel like I'm a broken record right now because of it is this massive topic where everybody is coming to me and they're going, I just had somebody just email me this morning and said, can you teach my girlfriend how to have an orgasm? I was like, well, there's a lot that goes to orgasm. that's not just the physical, the stroking of this, and it's not just the physical component. I'm like, what? And I need the backstory. Like, is there any sexual trauma here? Is there any physical trauma? Emotional, mental, all these different things. How are we? Like, if she's not having orgasms, then there's a handful of things that can be causing it.
But you're not going to teach her to orgasm. Like that's not a thing.
You could teach somebody how to have spread their legs and let you stroke their G-spot, and if you push long enough and hard enough and do all the right things, then they're going to have the physical reaction, because the nerve endings are going to do what the nerve endings do, and that's just what it is. And then they're going to be jolting around like this, but that doesn't mean that they're actually surrendering, emotionally connecting to the orgasm. It's just going to be a fixated point on the body that gets zapped like a energetic current just in that moment. It happens like this, and then it almost is edgy and painful, and it's empty.
It's not as pleasurable.
Empty.
And it doesn't keep going.
No.
Because then you're like, okay, now I'm actually done. Now I'm done, and I can't.
Like, don't touch me. I'm done. So, I mean, if you're looking for that kind of orgasm, then that's why the vibrator works for so many people, because they're getting that little whoop, and not really focusing on what true orgasm is, being that emotional standing point of surrender.
Yeah, because what both of us teach, is the surrendering to your sex, the opening up to your sex. But there's not, in truth, yes, you can have all the right techniques, but if you're not willing to go there and explore on your own, and I don't mean masturbation, but I mean just really tuning into your own body and your genitals, and really connecting and getting a consciousness. And people don't understand. I was talking to a gentleman yesterday, and we were talking about connecting to his genitals. Trying not to, we still are on Free Spirit Talks, but oh well.
Genitals?
I was wanting to use another word. We're talking about getting him into his genitals, and he's like, but I am in my genitals, that's a problem. I'm like, no, you're not, because you can't tell me what this feels like when this happens on this piece of your penis. You can't. You can't give me that information, because you are so focused on your woman, which is beautiful. It is beautiful to have an energetic connection with your woman or your man in the bedroom. It is beautiful, and it is important to really connect and really feel his or her body, and really get in there and really see the little changes in the flesh, and all the stuff we talk about in Female Orgasm Camp, which is coming up on December 7th, by the way. We'll do a promo for that at the end. But all that stuff that we teach about, what orgasm looks like, it feels like, it's beautiful to be present with that. But the fact is, if you're not connected to what's going on within your body, first and foremost, you're not going to have good sex. You're not going to get there. And you're not probably going to get her there either, or him there. Because your sexual energy will draw out the other person's sexual energy as well.
Oh yeah, you definitely feed off of each other, and presence is just, it's where it all starts. If you're not being present in yourself, then you can't really be present with somebody else. If you're not having the ability to connect to self, to have that intimacy with self, then you're not going to be able to do that with anybody else either. But we live in this world where we think that we can, and it's like, no, I can do that. I'm totally in, like what you're saying, like I'm totally into my partner, but I can't describe what the sensation is or the feeling, because it's completely outward focus to another. And you're not going to be able to really experience good sex. I mean, to me, good sex is that just,
I don't want good sex. I want gourmet.
Okay, I was like,
I want gourmet sex.
Yes, gourmet sex. Well, I was just starting with good.
Well, and our good, so I think good sex to most people is like, I think there are levels of good sex. I think there are people, because I have one particular in my mind, that would think some like, this is really good sex, when it's like, no, really, that's like not even like this much of what sex is, or can be, or can feel like. So let's So anyway, sorry. I just got on a tangent. I'm like, there are certain things that are not good sex. I might be a little passionate about this topic right now.
Opinion.
In your opinion, go.
Okay.
Go for it.
And I was so rudely interrupted by the redhead.
A lot to say. You interrupt me all the time.
I know, I do. But that's just life. No, good sex, I mean, if you just break it down to that, you know, there's multitudes of good sex. My version of good sex is going to be different than somebody else's version of good sex. Because I do prefer gourmet sex, right? But bare minimum, I think it needs to be freaking good, right? Because anything else is just, why are we bothering? Why are we taking the time? Why are we even going through these motions? I'd rather yawn or do something more useful. You know? It's like something. And good sex it's juicy, it's connective, it's where you feel open, it's where it's playful.
Vulnerable.
Yeah, there needs to be vulnerability, there needs to be play, there needs to be a giving and a receiving from both sides. And there needs to be, you know, where you feel seen and heard and truly felt. Like you're really just melting together, and not just from the physical, but from a deeper level. That's where that heart center comes in. It's not about, you know, how many positions you can get into, how deep you can go, how fast you can move, or anything like that. It is really about that surrendered state of being and the juiciness that can come from that, the expression of that energy.
I would even, for myself, I would add like, good sex is where there's moments where I'm so embodied. If I don't have moments where I'm so embodied that I lose track of all the head stuff going on.
It's where you lose track of all the head stuff, but it's
You're
almost like
so
time
connected.
stops.
Yes.
Because when you're fully embodied, it is like
so
time stops
there.
and an hour can go by and you're like,
oh,
wow, where did the hour go?
Wow, yeah.
Like, where did the hour go? Because you were so just in the moment.
Yes. That's what I would add to that. For myself, and it sounds like you too, but like, this, like, good sex has to be this, there has to be those moments where you're so embodied that you lose track. And and that only happens when you get out of your head. And also I think it only happens when you, outside of the bedroom, get into your head about your sex. And when I say that, I mean looking at your desires, really feeling into what you enjoy, really thinking about it, looking at your shame, looking at the stuff that you're struggling to talk about. What are the challenges? Having that communication. But before you can have the communication with the other person, you have to have that communication with your freaking self. You have to sit down and go, what do I desire? I remember, and I'm going to throw myself under the bus because she's about to throw me under the bus. Maybe not.
I wasn't going to, but I will now if you don't.
No, but like, I think, so there was at one point, I remember, this was years and years and years ago, you were like, it was before I was doing sex coaching, you were like, what do you desire? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, you're like, that's your journal prompt, what do you desire? And I remember sitting there and really having to dig deep in my brain as far as thoughts and beliefs, but also dig deep into my core and my genitals and that passionate energy, and outside of even the sex, because our sex comes from that passion, that energy within us, and really really spending, I think I spent like 2 hours on the journal prompt, just like getting in there and like really being like, what do I desire?
Yeah, because your response was, I don't know, a cup of coffee,
chocolate.
Define desire.
Define the definition of desire is what I desire. No, but I think you have to do that exploration of self. And also, sometimes you have to, yes, masturbation can come into play there. And you have to know your own body. And the fact is,
if you don't know how you want to be, one of the things that I tell women all the time is I have an exercise, and I probably gave this to you too. I don't remember.
I know all your exercises.
Yeah, you know all your exerciise, but I probably gave it to you way back yonder. Yeah. Is to touch yourself the way you want a lover to touch you. Did I ever give that one to you?
I don't think you knew that one. I know that one.
There's a journal prompt for you. There's an exercise for you, not a journal prompt. Like later after I leave, just Go ahead and like be like, oh, never mind. It's a good.
I think
really
it's
good.
I give that one to people. I've never done it.
Here's the thing, because when we do that, we're learning what feels good to us. And that statement of touch yourself the way you wish a lover would touch you does not mean masturbation, especially to a woman and even to a guy. Because if we look
even like
men,
this.
right? I mean, what are your turn-ons? Is it having your hair played with? Is it having your neck played with? Is it your breasts? Is it just a soft stroke on an arm? Is it, like, what is it that you really like? Is it a firmer touch? How do you want it to be touched? It does not just go straight to genitals. And even with men, it doesn't go straight to genitals because guys like to have, chest hair pulled. They like to feel strength on their shoulders, on their backs, on their butts getting pulled and, like that. Like there's all this different stuff, or soft strokes and tickles and everything. And it is so important to touch yourself like that so that you know.
But I also think that, because you were talking about the women, and what kind of came to my mind is I think both genders really get into this almost habit with how we touch ourselves, and you have to break through.
We do unconscious touch. We go, okay, brush the hair, brush the teeth, wash the face, in the shower.
But even if you are spending some time doing like sensual touch or masturbation, and you're going straight to your genitals, most people do it the same way every single time.
Because you know how to get yourself off, and you can get yourself off under 5 minutes typically. And so it's like, okay, I'm just popping the cork for just a second, taking the edge off here, and I'm going to go boom, boom, and we're done, next task.
Which is not knowing yourself.
That's boom, boom, next task. This has now moved that touch and that spending quality time with self.
Isn't happening.
It created it into like a duty. It's really just like, that's on my checklist to take,
Sex first and foremost is a single act. It is getting outside of the bedroom your shit in order. In that, looking at what you desire. I can't tell you how many partners I've asked, people I've been dating, and been like, well, what do you desire? And they really struggle to say that, to explain it, or they have all this shame about it. And so you really have to work through some of that. Now, we all have shame. Like, we all have sexual shame. Like, anybody who's like, I have no issues with my sex is a freaking liar. They're a liar.
I have no issues with my sex.
Well, you're a liar. You're a liar. And I'd say that you're a liar because our sex is
My sex is perfect. I orgasm every single time. I always speak my truth. Mm-hmm. I have conquered all my.
You have reached the depths of your sex.
I have reached this depth that I know I will never be.
You're such a big liar. I'm such a liar. This is when you can't do live streams with your bestie because you know too much. Not that our sex is bad, but
I would hope that everybody knows that I'm joking. I'm being completely sarcastic.
Yeah, but like, people will go, no, I have no issues with my sex. I get this on my Facebook comments all the time. And I'm like, you're a liar. That's not true. Because we all have new levels to be explored. Now, you might reach your pleasure ceiling and not try to push past that. But there is more. And we all have some sexual shame that can come up within us, but it is really getting good with it, and almost like, not to get all like corny here, but like making friends with it a little bit and going like, yeah, I see that. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, I've worked through it. Yeah, I can talk about it now, or I can process it out, or it doesn't get me like it used to, kind of stuff. But if you don't know that stuff, where those points are, then when you bring your sexual self to a partner and then you try to get in body, it's going to be impossible.
Yeah, if you don't, you've got to do your own inner work, or else, because the best sex happens from knowing yourself so that you can communicate in some fashion what you want, what you need, and what your desires are. And those really are three different things. Wants, desires, and needs are three different things. They bring up different thoughts and different vocalization about different things too.
Different vulnerabilities.
Yeah, different vulnerabilities, different boundaries. everything comes into play there, but you've got to be able to communicate that to a partner. And if you don't know what it is, then you're never going to be able to communicate it. Much like if you don't know how you like to be touched, if you don't know what your turn-ons are, then how is your partner ever supposed to? I mean, yeah, they can stumble into one, but you should be able to tell a person. I know that any guy that I, like on dating front, I'm really quick to say, I love this really soft touch. Yeah. I love my hair played with. I don't like this. I don't like that. I'm absolute F no to this. Yeah. I like that. And I'm like, I lay out my top 10 relatively quick because, and then I sit back and go, let's see if they listened. Let's see if they listen. Let's see if they heard me. Will they actually pay attention and do some of those? Because I'm like, here's the free stuff.
And do they know themselves enough to share as well?
Right. And then, and then I also, and I know that you've done it, I inquire with partners. I go, or people that I'm dating, about desire, about turn-ons, about boundaries, about fantasies, about, what have you done? What haven't you done?
What'd you like? What you didn't like?
Right.
What would you be willing to try again?
Right. Why did you like that? Was it really fun?
Why did you not like that?
And that goes, we might ask somebody, oh, have you traveled anywhere? Or we might say, what kind of food do you like? Let's go with food. Like, what are your favorite foods? Oh, I really like Italian. I really like Mexican. I really like that.
That's really broad.
Yeah. And it's like, well, what's your favorite Italian dish?
I love Italian food, but I don't like the super pasta-y dishes because they make me feel like,
right?
Because I feel all like bloated, but like a nice fish and a wine sauce. So a white fish. I don't want to kill Addison. She's allergic, but there's specific dishes in Italian
that bracket that you like, so you could actually, because you've experienced and explored different things, you could communicate back like, this is what I really like.
So somebody could say, I'm really dominant, but what does that mean? What does that mean? Because there is a massive spectrum of what that could mean. Yeah. I've had days where I'm like, that is too dominant for me.
That I'm the one that is initiating here. I'm a little bit more forceful in the bedroom. Maybe I like to hold hands down. Maybe a little bit of choking and maybe a little bit of hair pulling. Or is it, no, let's break out the whips and the chains. Let's break out here we go. Let's break out the steel-toe boots. Yeah, that's exactly.
Bring on that old stuff.
That's a dominant move. Like, let me kick you. Okay, are you into kicking?
I have all these people being like, Addison, so what happened?
And here's the thing. That little tale that we're not going to probably tell. But
no, we're not.
But I just want to say, just in case that person ever sees this live stream, congratulations on speaking when you're into
just being honest. And just being like, this is what I like. And I was like, and that's not what I like. It makes a great
story. It makes all this stuff. People can go,
I'm not
what
into
happened
that.
on day. But at least he presented what he was into and inquired and said, this is what I like. Do you like it? That right there, that is so powerful, because what can you imagine? And I think that this is a great story, because what if you had gone, what if he had kept that shut? And
we got 10 dates in.
10 dates, 20 dates in. You had some sex. You really were having the feels for this guy. You were really in it. And then all of a sudden he breaks out the steel-toed boot.
Let's do something new, baby.
I want to play tonight. And you're like, okay, because nothing's happened. It's been totally on board with everything. You feel safe. And next thing you know, you're getting a steel-toed boot in the rib cage. Now, I know that might sound extreme, but this stuff happens.
Yeah.
Like, that happens.
And here's the deal. It was a beautiful experience because, in truth, it was him knowing himself and him knowing his sex gave me an opportunity to go, thank you for that. But that is not, I'm not on board with that. I'm not, like, that is super not my turn on. Like, and I was able to go, like, no, this is not going to work for me.
So you knew that relationship
I knew
was
that wasn't going to work.
Look at the heartbreak potential that you avoided. Look at the physical pain you avoided. Look at the emotional pain.
Yeah.
All this different stuff. And you also shortened
the emergency room.
But you also shortened the time frame. Yes. It's like, it's you went on one date versus 10 dates, all this time, all this connection, and now you're thinking, and now you're building up around guilt around, well, maybe I should be into, because how many times do we get wrapped up into a relationship and we get into it, and then our partner does something, we're like, well, maybe I should be into that because I don't want to lose my partner.
I know you don't understand.
I don't understand this at all. No, I mean, I never do that. I've never done it, and I've never had anybody do that to me ever.
Okay,
not true at all. But but no, I mean, you get more into alignment with the right partners because you can speak
your truth on the front.
Your truth. You can speak your truth, but you can't speak your truth if you don't know your truth.
Because in truth, him and I could have also gone into a relationship, that gentleman, and he could have held it all in, and then he would have been like, she is just not giving me what I want, but I'm not willing to speak my truth. I'm not, and we could have fallen madly in love.
I got a text message from an old acquaintance of mine that I never knew intimately, but I knew this person, and he texted me and told me in a text message that his they might as well be married. They've been together forever. But so I'm going to just call her his wife. That his wife was too vanilla for him. And so that his wife was too vanilla for him, and that he had this G-string fetish. And I was like, so just ask her to wear G-strings. Like, I'm sure she'd wear G-strings for you if you guys have been together forever. Like, I met her. She's cool. And he's going, no, I like to wear G-strings and blah, 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 blah. And he goes through all this different stuff. So he had a fetish around wearing ladies' lingerie and all this stuff is what it came down to. And he, at that point, probably 4 years of a relationship where they're living together, they're traveling together, they own stuff together, all this stuff. They're raising kids together. They're doing all this stuff. And he's keeping this hidden over here. And so what's he doing? He's reaching out and he's going, well, do you know anybody that might be ready to entertain this? Because I need an outlet because she's too vanilla. That's a discussion that they should have on the, somewhere in those early dates.
Yeah, maybe not the first date.
No.
But
it's not steel-toed boots. That's a first date thing. It really is. Like, it makes for a story, but that really is something that you want to kind of get out there.
Get out there. But, I mean, within the first few dates, you should be talking about these things.
Yeah, because if you're dating, then you're thinking about having sex with this person. Let's just be real. Like, if you're in the dating world, anybody who says that they're just dating for dating, no, you're dating because you're wanting turn on, you're wanting connection, you're wanting intimacy. Also,
or you want a ring on your finger so you can be stable.
But at the end of it,
money.
Sex is a piece of this.
Yes.
And we all know that a date somewhere along the line, if we see somebody consistently, is going to lead to sex. Somewhere in there, right?
Yes.
So that means it's there. Shouldn't we be having those kind of conversations then?
But I can't talk about sex with the person I'm having sex with? What are you talking about? That's atrocious. What would they think?
What if they ghost me tomorrow?
I know.
What if they are like, oh my gosh, I know.
But our sex doesn't get better unless we talk about it. It doesn't, because even when you're having, you and your partner have been together for 2 years now, and if you guys all of a sudden just stop talking about your sex, it would get so boring and so banal. Like, it would just be like flatline.
He would freak out. He would freak. God, what is wrong?
He would totally freak.
Are you breaking up with me? There's something wrong going on here.
Why are we not talking about this? No, but if you guys stop giving each other feedback, then all connection would be lost. Those beautiful moments that you guys are able to have together in the bedroom that you share unconscious coffee.
My person's here.
That's fine. We have a few more minutes. All that beautiful connection would be lost. And so yeah, you have to communicate. But in order to communicate, you first need to know yourself. You need to connect with yourself. You need to pleasure yourself, touch yourself in more than just your genitals. You need to be doing your journaling work, looking at your stuff around your sex. Our sex is such a mirror to everything else in our world, and you can't in your world. And by putting it away in a little box, you're not doing yourself any favors. Any favors.
Not at all. Not at all. So, the moral of our tale today is to know thyself, inquire with self, touch self, allow yourself to feel every aspect of your sex, which is not just a physical genital stimulation. It is actually of the heart, of the mind, and of the physical in multiple different ways. Sex is not just genitals. And if you think that it is, you're missing the boat. You are definitely missing out on your best sex yet. And it's time to learn how to have really, really good sex, which is do the inquiry work with self and get ready to communicate what you discover.
True. True that. And quick promo. So we have Female Orgasm Camp coming up December 7th in the DFW area. If you're in the area, we are already filling up seats. So you want to get in
50%
now.
full. Almost 50% full right now.
And we it's not this weekend, it's the next weekend. So
I
know it's December, but it's not that far away.
It's right around the corner. It really is. It's right around the corner. So that class is coming up. That's for all of you Dallas, Fort Worth people, or anybody who can get their butt here who would want to come to the Winter Wonderlust.
Yep.
The other event that we have coming up in the month of December is December 13th, 14th, and 15th. We are having the Austin Tantra Festival down in, guess what, Austin. And
the Austin Tantra Festival in Austin. Shocker.
Where we are both facilitating workshops for that event down there, along with how many other. I have not done a head count. I am such a bad co-teacher.
A couple other co-teachers.
I want to say there's like 8 of us that are on the Anyway, so it's 3 days of intense tantric teachings, multiple different backgrounds from the educators, teachers, and there's going to be a whole bunch of different options to go to. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful experience. Come one day, come all 3. It doesn't much matter. Just come if you are able and willing to explore the world of Tantra in the state of Texas here.
And if you're not going to go down to Austin, I have a Tantric Puja coming up as well in DFW. The 10th. Don't quote me on that. Go to my website, addisonbill.net.
I think it's the 10th. I think it's the 10th. It's a Tuesday, right?
Yeah, it's a Tuesday.
I think it's the 10th. Yeah.
So, I think
I don't have
anything else to announce right now. I have my holiday sale, so
that's
check me out.
Yes, because
the elves made me do it. The elves made me do it.
Is that why I saw like
and the sale?
Do you have an elf on the shelf sitting around here?
I do not.
You need it. I'm buying you an elf on the shelf.
The elves made me do it, and when the elves go away, so does the sale. So you want to get in there now.
I'm gonna buy her one, and then I'll just keep it bouncing around the house, and I'll be like, no, the elf hasn't left.
I'm kind of like my own elf on the shelf. I kind of bounce around here.
That's true.
And what is your website? I already said mine.
All right, my website is KendallWilliams.com.
So, all right, guys, we will see you in 2 weeks for another Free Spirit Talks.
See you.
Bye.